Good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm your host, Mahfouz Al-Qadir, coming up with another upload. And this is simply about self-awareness. Self-awareness. Some people are, as far as their self-awareness, they're on point with it. They're able to know where they're at. They have a good energy about it. They go about their lives comfortably. For the most part, organized for all intents and purposes. They're straight. Some people lack self-awareness. And it could be mistaken for arrogance, for them being honest about themselves and their opinions about themselves can be mistaken as arrogance. So that's a fine line there. That naturally humans are judgmental, and they're going to come to their own determination of what that person is, how they feel about the person. But for me, I'm a little bit more, understanding and try to process it a little better than at least try to understand. Because I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want to judge anyone about how they go about their lifestyle and how they go about their opinions, because everyone has an opinion and it's valid to them. It might not fit to what your narrative is, but for them, it's a valid opinion. It's very valid to them. So they're going to stand on that. And so I have no problem with that. It's an argument that they can defend and promote. So I have no objection to someone, again, advocating for how they look at life, how they go about their daily business, as we all. Some people's politics, however, in this climate that we're in, and how everyone's politics are a hot topic, or where you stand on this issue, or where you stand on that issue, or do you have a stance on it one way or the other? So if you're on this side of the aisle, whether you're conservative, staunch conservative, or leftist Democrat, very left in their thinking and their ideas and their ideology. And so it's always the pendulum. It swings. I mean, you have a central base in both parties that's kind of more moderate thinking, and that group there of politicians is where the work needs to be done, because like I said, you have your extremists, but there's still a thought process in those chambers that can probably work with certain ideas and incorporate them to make it better for America. And I don't see that being done as often, because it seems so divisive between all this January 6th committees and former President Donald Trump's shenanigans and his trials and what he's going through and his issues. So, but with all that being said, there still have to be leadership, being applied in a direction where the country needs to be, on one accord as far as dealing with the world. And as you can see right now, you have China's President Xi visiting Russia and for a couple of days in a summit. And you have Saudi Arabia and the Iran leaders coming together and opening up diplomatic conversations and diplomacy and diplomatic relations. And, they've been kind of like enemies for a while. So now people are trying to work together. Of course, you got United States and NATO. So, you have the war in Ukraine, with Russia invading Ukraine. And so there's a lot of different situations. People forget the former president of Japan was murdered. That was like last year. So we got the Taiwan situation where Russia is doing a lot of, not Russia, but China is doing a lot of huffing and puffing about that, would there be an invasion of Taiwan? And the United States is standing very strong for Taiwan. And they're in that region. They're in that international waters out there. So, and China wants, to get Taiwan. And so there's a lot of posturing going on, man. But meanwhile, over here, you still have a lot of issues with people. People are trying to make it. Inflation is high. President Biden is implementing his policies, and of course we have all the Trump watch, as far as whether or not he get indicted in a couple of states, like New York or Georgia. But I'm hearing New York they have actually a weaker case as far as a hush money case. But so there you have it. Everything's in play. But the people definitely want to stress that, don't forget about us in America. You still have an immigration problem on the border. I saw the other day on a video, social media, I think it was Twitter, where this idiot or this subhuman being leaves a 1-year-old. I guess one of these traffickers, or I don't know, traffickers or one of these people that, I don't know, the child was left right on the border defending for himself. And luckily Border Patrol peeped the whole thing and got the child to safety without any harm coming to him. How can you just leave a 1-year-old out in the middle of nowhere on the border to fend for themselves? What kind of human being does that? People are animals, man. Just no compassion. You just leave a 1-year-old right there on the border, and then there was some water there, and luckily there was a Jersey wall kind of set up or whatever, but there was some water. But come on, man. But where we at, man? As humans, are we going back to a subculture, a subhuman culture? I mean, you got, every time I turn on social media, it's always some video of clips or someone getting pounded out. You just saw the 6ix9ine situation. Conflict resolution is at an all-time low. More and more states are having these open permits. But you don't even have to have a permit to carry a weapon. So are we going back to the Wild Wild West? Is that where we headed? I mean, you just got to be careful. You just got to be aware. But it's just news nationally. There's a lot of stuff going on besides when you watch CNN or MSNBC or Fox News Network. There's a lot of stuff going on that's not being reported. You just had a situation in Uvalde, Texas again, where, or near that region where a train that had some human cargo, and you had 2 people, I think, who suffocated. Whether they being trafficked or trafficked, I don't know. But seems to be some type of human trafficking going on where 2 adults suffocated. due to the heat or whatever. So that's being investigated there. In Uganda, you have, not in Uganda, what is it? What country in Africa? Nation in Africa? I think Uganda, where they have a law where if you are openly gay or practicing homosexuality there openly, you can be in prison or get the death penalty. So a lot of people are kind of riled up about that. The reason for the law is the president saying he's trying to save the kids, the future of the kids. I get it. A lot of people are not going to agree with it, but it's their nation, and it's their land, and it's their law. So what can you do? What can you do? So whether you advocate for that lifestyle or not, Uganda is their country. The president made the law, and that's what it is. So that was crazy. But if you want people to understand our laws, you got to understand their laws too. So, if you want people to respect your laws, the laws over here, you have to respect the laws over there. As we saw with the Brittany Griner situation that happened in Russia. You got to respect these countries' laws, man. Can't go over there thinking, everything is just sweet. This is not America. You're in a foreign land in a foreign country, and you are a visitor. So you have to respect that, and that's the way it is. So I respect it, and it is what it is. Laws are laws, and you'll really appreciate this country if you get locked up over in another country. You really will appreciate the United States. Even though it's not perfect. We know it's not perfect, and it can be. I got to upload video about my experience with being called to jury duty a month ago, and how tedious that task was. So the laws of justice are slow. They move very slowly. A lot of standing around, a lot of sitting and waiting, and a lot of discussion between lawyers and everything else. So as you can imagine, so I did what I had to do for my civic duty, and I completed it. But I tell you what, it was tedious. So, sports are heating up. The NCAA tournament is heating up. Fantastic games last night. Fantastic games today. So to determine who's going to go to the Final Four. So we'll see. We'll see. All the number one seeds have been knocked out. Every last one of them. So that transfer portal and these athletic things and these athletic programs, these recruits and students, man, it's easier to, these smaller schools are not like, they're making noise. Look at Florida Atlantic. No, is it Florida? Yeah, Florida Atlantic. They're making noise. So, look at Miami, ACC, they're making noise. So a lot of teams are making noise. In the NBA, you got the Lakers, I believe, in the 8th spot now. So they're pushing. I tell you what, man, the Lakers, if they have to play Denver, I can see the Lakers getting past Denver. The Lakers are playing good ball now. Anthony Davis is dominating. I saw the game the other night against with the Lakers playing the Oklahoma City, and Anthony Davis was destroying people. Man, he was dominant. They couldn't stop him. All his points was coming in the paint in the first half and stuff, and he was just killing it. So they get LeBron back. I give them a good shot, man. I give them a good shot. So that's it for me. Hope everyone is doing well. Have a great rest of your evening and enjoy your night. And we'll see you soon. Take care.